consider how the logic lines up. Now, RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Okay. Now, considering RFK, what we have in mind is just let's hypothesize, because we're going to indulge our most base and dubious instincts right now, and really like seriously hypothesize conspiracy. So let's suppose that the conspiracy is that Maga is interested in literally getting rid of a certain section of the population. Now, how exactly would the logic work if they were trying to get rid of the very people that constitute their voting base? So you can work the conspiracy theory rich against poor. The conspiracy is that rich exterminates poor and alleviates the ontological burden on the financial system, such that there's more wealth to spread around at the top because there's less burden at the bottom, right? That's probably like the population, the cynical population controls, genocide logic is like, okay, just, when times get too hard, why don't we just delete a third of the world's population, and then we'll have the same resources, but with a third less people? There are many mistakes in reasoning. Most notably is that who's going to run all that stuff once the third of the people that built whatever it is that they built are gone? You can invent something, but then that thing has to have an infrastructure that sustains it. So But this kind of lines up just like all the other contradictions. On the surface, they look like playful, if dangerous, absurdities, whether from Antonin Artaud or thought experiments from Professor Graham Priest, or but to take it at face value, the technical term we have for it in philosophy is a mind fuck. It's a mind fuck because so just get rid of all the vaccines, and then you take the food pyramid that we know, that we all learned, right? That, the basis is like vegetable, grains, Mediterranean diet and such, right? Fruits and nuts, vegetables, etc., right? And then chicken, beef, pork, maybe it's supposed to constitute like a tenth of your diet. So they, if it was a diagram that we saw in elementary school, I'm sure, we all had a very talented school nurse that showed us things like that after she explained what an erection is and what semen is and what the clitoris is. Or maybe she pronounced it clitoris. I don't know. Elementary school nurses, bless their hearts, they have to pretend like they're perfectly at ease talking about sex, and nothing could be further from the truth. There's got to be a different standard, especially for elementary school sex education. That's really touchy stuff. I mean, that shit requires to my mind, that requires a PhD and an MD, probably several PhDs. I mean, in order to discern whether or not a child is being abused, and then to discern exactly what's happening, because of course the powers of shame and repression are extraordinary. And even, by the time you're 5 years old, you already have a very well regulated sense of the division between self and not self. And so there's all kinds of private details that you just assume not share with the world. Already when you're 5 years old, or, I don't know, thereabouts, probably Oedipal stage, once the jealousy and the kind of paranoid panic sets in. Oedipal paranoia or whatever, the way it's supposed to set in. I don't know. Again, I don't speak from experience. That's why I'm a symbolic idealist, is because I don't have the requisite experience, so I have to reconstruct everything indirectly in the abstract. Anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? Thought is sort of like a rubber band. I mean, you keep stretching it and keep pushing it and stretching it and holding it and stretching it more, and it has to snap back, and it's kind of disorienting for about 30 seconds or something, and then you lose your train of thought. And this is something that I'm very perplexed by other thinkers, because I don't know if that I've ever heard any like preeminent or eminent thinker, I don't know what the difference is, really like mark their place in speech. Like, oh, I'm sorry guys, I'm really stoned right now, hold on, while I remember what I was going to say. I mean, in order to be perfectly confident, I mean, you must be perfectly confident. I mean, what an accomplishment for an individual to be so confident. Confidence is a roughly rubbish concept. I don't really ever understand what people mean, because, I mean, I'll just speak cliche. No, I won't. I don't want to hear myself speak cliche. I mean, confidence. Why'd you find so attractive about them? Oh, they were just so confident. I wonder on balance, like how, like percentage wise, how the ratio goes, like the number of roughly confident people that have perpetrated rape. In other words, look, I don't mean to, it's not my problem if you yourself choose to identify as confident, right? Because if I choose to shovel shit at the concept of confidence and you choose to identify with that concept, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not criticizing you. I don't even know who you are. I'll just tell you about myself autobiographically that I think the concept of confidence, especially today, is rubbish. And don't look at me ironically because my glasses are green and my hat's backwards, and You think that this is the way a confident person projects themselves? Oh, yeah, I bet you do think that, right? But don't you notice that there's already a contradiction? If you're confident, you don't have to dress like a clown, right? Is Donald Trump confident? Am I confident? I don't know. I don't consider myself confident. It's a category mistake in my case. I just don't even think in those terms. I don't know what it means. What's it mean? You don't care? Would you rather have a surgeon operating on you, or a loved one, even better, who is confident or who knows what they're doing? I don't know how the categories are related. They might be related differently depending on the person. But I mean, if it's me, if it's my life that hangs in the balance, I go with the person that knows more. 10 out of 10 times across the board. I don't give a shit if they're socially awkward or they sweat a lot, like if they're nervous or something. No, I mean, if they're a better surgeon than everybody else, then I'll go with them. Right? Oh, but that's a technical skill. That's not sexual attraction. That's different. Oh. Welcome to philosophy, people. Is it different? Why? What would make it different?